Hey, so I wrote a track with Spitfire Audio's new sample library Colossus. Let's have a listen. So first of all the instruments that I've used are from Colossus. And now I would say I go through the individual sections of the track and show you all the instruments that I've used and what I did processing-wise, which is, besides the mastering, almost nothing. Okay, so now let's go through the intro here. Okay, so first of all we have a high strings spiccato ostinato that sounds like this. And next up we have this little tremolo ramp up that kind of accompanies the ostinato strings. Okay, so as for the brass, I simply created this little cluster here by using the crescendo patch. Let's listen to this. Okay, so next up I used the staccato woodwinds to simply layer what the string ostinato is playing. To be honest, I don't even know if woodwinds would be able to play something like this. Probably if they could, they wouldn't play it like this. Again, I don't care when it comes to this. All I wanted to do is layer the string ostinato with this type of sound, and this is why I picked it. I also have another synth patch that is layering the strings and the woodwinds, but we get to that in a minute. Okay, so just to put some accents when the intro transitions over, let's say, to the main part, I've used the percussion taiko kit here, and it sounds like this. Can't help it, I love taikos. Okay, so here's the synth sound that I was talking about before, and it may be a little bit unlogic because it's a lead sound that goes like this. But when I play it with the, let's say, the length of the notes that I've used for the woodwinds and the strings and put it to octaves, it sounds like this. So I really love this bell character of this sound, and this is how it sounds layered with the woods and the strings. Okay, so let's proceed to the main section. Okay, so let's start at the bottom. I played the same synth patch here that you heard before, and didn't introduce the high spiccato ostinato and the woodwinds again to just come down with the track a little bit. Okay, so next up is this little synth patch called Wraith. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So I just wanted to create this little eerie effect with some kind of like a pitch bend effect on it, and it sounds like this. Okay, so the next patch I've used is a pad sound from the synth section called the gate. And what I additionally did was automating the filter to give it a little bit more life, and it sounds like this. Next instrument here, Junkyard Kit, a percussion patch, and by default on the Spitfire audio player, you have all the dynamics and everything connected or assigned to CC1. So it would sound like this. And I've used that to give that patch also a little bit of automation, and it sounds like this. Okay, so next up is horns. We have some horns in here. I just did some horn swells. And the thing is, what I built was loading the long or the sustained sounds and also the staccatissimo sounds to just give it a little bit of attack. And just in case if you don't know that, this is possible in the Spitfire audio player that you combine patches. All that you have to do is just pick one and then holding shift, picking the other one too, and you see it turns like white or yellow, and then you can play them both. So again, I don't care how something sounds isolated. What is important to me is how it sounds in the track. It's almost not there, but it almost creates like something like a little bit of a reverse effect when you listen to this isolated again. And then again with the other instruments. So let's take a look at the second half of this part, and we have some legato strings and they play this little harmonic minor line in E. And I'm also layering this with the woodwinds legato patch here. And also write more taikos. Okay, Shadow Kit, and this was pretty cool to use because I also automated this to, let's say, introduce some more reverb and dynamics, and it sounds like this. So I found this was a cool way to kind of like ramp up for the next part and create some additional excitement. Let's have a quick listen how this sounds together with the Junkyard Kit. Really cool combo. Now let's introduce the legato horns, and I used these to layer the melody, and it sounds like this. Next up, timpanis. You don't have rolls in Colossus, so I just built one. I admit I could have done better, but it works in the track, so I'm cool with it. So I used another synth pad called Dirty Chips, and it sounds a little bit like an organ. But I just wanted to introduce something special to that sound, so that's why I used the pitch wheel again here. And also a truly colossal bass patch called Cages. Let's check this out. And last but not least, another synth sound layering all the other instruments playing the melody. And now let's head to the fun part. So we have several instruments playing this bass line, so let's first listen to the strings low. And so on. We have this now also played by the low brass. And so on. Next up, we layer this all with a patch called Creeper Bass. And we also layer this with a drone called not Nosferatu, but Yesferatu. Pretty funny. And last but not least, with the guitars. Now let's listen to how all these sound together. Okay, so let's take a look at the acoustic drum kit. To be honest, I'm not sure if it's possible in the Spitfire audio player, but I didn't bother. I didn't continue looking for this because I wanted to have the cymbals at full impact, and I found them a little bit too loud compared to the kick drum and the snare, for example. So I just split them up and put them to another channel so I could individually control the volume. So this is the drum part for the final bit of the track. And also we adapted this rhythm with the shadow kit, and altogether it sounds like this. So it basically gives that acoustic drum set a little bit of an otherworldly sound. Okay, so 3 instruments left here. We have a horn to just create a little bit of additional tension towards the end. We have a little bit of a taiko groove. And additionally, in that part, I wanted to have some unsettling instrument that kind of like creeps throughout this entire part. And that's why I picked this lead synth Skincrawler. That's really annoying. It almost sounds like a guitar feedback note. So at this point I have to say that Albion Colossus is truly colossal. First of all, if you're looking for a detailed orchestral sample library, you're at the wrong place. There are other libraries out there for this, such as BBC Orchestra, for example. And if you would ask me for my personal opinion, this is what the Albion series never wanted to be. It was always about a mood pack or a given palette of sounds, basically like a designer toolkit. So besides the orchestral instruments that are ensemble based, you get all the other instruments that I hopefully was able to show you in the demo I have written here. And also make sure to go to the Spitfire product page of Colossus to get detailed information and also detailed walkthroughs of all the instruments and patches that are inside. Okay, so if you have a little bit more time, let's check out what I did processing wise, which is actually not that much. Okay, so as for the spiccato strings, I just have a little bit of fresh air going. I just wanted to sting kind of a little bit more. So basically just a little bit more edge. Okay, so there's something going on the Taiko kit here. Basically just a little bit of EQ. I'm getting rid of that 200 Hertz rumble sound and also some fresh air to bring out, yeah, a little bit more attack. So it sounds like this without. Let me turn both on. And last but not least, we have a little bit of compression going for the acoustic drum set. It sounds like this. So just a little bit of subtle compression, nothing really that alters the sound. Okay, so let's take a look at the mastering chain here. You would say, oh my God, there is so much stuff going on. It totally alters, totally changes the sound of the library. And I can assure you it does not. All it just does is put it a little bit together, glue it together, and limits the track, brings it up a little bit more to a decent volume, and that's basically it. So let's listen to how the track sounds without. Of course, it will be way lower, and then see what each of these plugins is doing. So the chain would be the following. We have this mastering compressor here, AMAC mastering compressor here. We have the drummer, another compressor following right after. You can also see the chain over here. Then we have the neutron. I just use that to analyze the sound once in a while and get some suggestions on what it comes up with. And last but not least, a tiny tad of OTT, then all heads into the FGX2 mastering limiter, and then I put that here because I don't have space next to here. And it's the Oxford inflator. This basically sits on every track that I'm writing. So I bypassed all plugins and I will turn them on one by one. Let's listen to the track here. And also I want to mention the Neutron 3 interrupts the sound. So that's why I will stop the track and start it again. Okay, so that was actually a lot. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out the Colossus product page. I put the link down in the video description. And also, as always, thank you so much for checking out this video and hope to see you on another one. Have a great day. Thanks and bye.